Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Joe Vales. I'm running for City Council District 4. This is my second term that I hope to win. I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran, and I work for you, and I've done a lot, City Council. It doesn't just take one person, it takes us all to vote together. I'm a person that brings people together, and I'm here to make sure that Emmett is a resourceful place for everyone. And do for the city is we're trying to beautify it. We're trying to work with our businesses. We're working with our youth. We're working with our seniors. We have the Simpson Center open now for all seniors and youth. We have the skate park for the youth. We have Airtopia for the youth. And if you want to keep what we're doing moving forward, going forward in life, then you know what? Vote for me for City Council District 4. Let us prove to you that we can get the job done.
Thank you for joining us on Crystal Clear. I am Crystal Ruiz, and I am here with a dear friend, Senator Jeff Stone. How are you doing today, Jeff?
I'm doing great, Crystal. It's nice to visit with you today.
I know you're visiting because you used to be here in California, and now you are senator here,
Yes.
And now you're a senator in Nevada.
Correct.
That is crazy. How is what's the difference between California and Nevada as far as doing your job, your senator job?
Well, the population here in Nevada is obviously much smaller than it is in California. We've only got about 3.5 million people total here.
Wow.
Shoot,
Wow.
2.5 million living in Riverside County alone. So when I was a state senator in California, I represented 1 million people. But here, we only have 21 senators as opposed to 40 in California, and we have 42 assembly people rather than 80 in California. So our legislature is 63 people, and we only meet every other year in odd years. So we will be meeting again in February of 2025 coming up, and I get 20 bills, and in that 120 days, we have to do a 2-year budget, and we have to hear approximately 1,000 bills. So it's
Wow.
It's a lot of work because I only get one assistant, one employee, and as opposed to having 15 in the state of California and 3 offices. I got an office here in Southern Nevada. It's a brand new office, which we don't even really need, but we have it. And then I work out of the state capitol in Carson City starting the first week in February and ends the first week in June.
And so how does that affect you? I mean, that's really almost part-time. And I know here you had to split your time, going up to Sacramento and then navigating the political side of it. Is it easier on the political side, the way you're doing it now?
It's actually harder. It's harder because
really?
you don't have any staff. So the distance between Southern Nevada and Henderson, where I live, and Carson City is about the same distance as where I used to live in Temecula and going to Ontario to Sacramento. So it's the same schedule. We go up on Sunday night or Monday morning, and we fly back on Friday, spend weekends here at home, and repeat it for 16 weeks. So we condense into 16 weeks what the state of California does in 40 weeks. And
Wow.
It's really compressed. We don't get a lot of staff. I used to have people that used to help me write the bills, help me read the bills. We have to read all the bills ourselves, and we share it with our colleagues. And it's a lot more work here. But the designers of the Nevada Constitution, I think, were pretty smart people. They knew the longer that you had legislators sitting in the Capitol, the more of a chance you're going to get more regulations and more taxes. And I think California exemplifies that dysfunctionality. So we got to get in and out of there in 120 days, and it's more challenging because we have the Democrat Party here that would like to emulate some of the failures in California, like making it a sanctuary state, like giving benefits to illegal immigrants when we can't afford it here in the state. We have the lowest Medicaid fees probably in the entire nation, and yet we have some Democrat members that want to add, 500,000 more people to the rolls where it would just dilute anybody's possibility of getting any proper medical care here.
So look at California now as a result of it.
Exactly.
It's horrible.
California's going to go broke. What's happening in California is Gavin Newsom, he thought he had a shot for the presidency. Unfortunately, Kamala Harris rained on his parade, and she's now in the limelight. And I would imagine he's probably hoping that she loses because he wants
Mm-hmm.
to contender in 4 years. Um, but we'll see. I'm still part of the Trump team here. Was part of the Trump team, as you know, in 16. Um, served in the administration, and I'm hoping that if he gets elected, that he'll give me another opportunity to serve the people of the United States of America in a different role. So the bottom line is, it's a condensed session, 120 days versus 300 days. We do a 2-year budget. We only go in odd years. We get no pay except for the time that you're in the Capitol during the 4 months that you work. Otherwise,
Wow.
no staff, no benefits, nothing. And the framers of the Constitution were smart. They decided that they were only going to pay us for 60 days instead of 120 because they wanted to have an incentive for you to get out of Carson City, get out of the county where you're regulating and taxing. But unfortunately, the Democrat Party always takes the extra 60 days. So we went into special session in 2023 to entertain a package to bring the Oakland Athletics to Las Vegas. And we successfully came up with a package that will put them on the former Tropicana site. The Tropicana was just imploded. It's on 35 acres, and the organization that owns the Tropicana donated 7 acres for the stadium. It's a $2 billion stadium. It's going to be a glass dome. It's going to be, you'll be able to see the lights of the strip from the stadium from a lot of vantage points.
Wow.
And that gives us every sport except an NBA team. And we're on that right now. Once we
I
get
was going to say, that sounds like that's coming.
the NBA team, then we can say that we're not only the world's entertainment capital, but we can also say we're the world's sports capital of the world. I'm kind of excited about that. I think you'll see an NBA announcement probably in the next 6 months to a year. It's happening, and then we got the Bright Line train that's coming from Rancho Cucamonga to Las Vegas, which is going to bring tens of thousands of people here, every weekend instead of clogging up the 15 freeway, which is terrible.
Yep.
So it's all good news. We're trying to. My goal is to diversify the economic base here. 80% of our revenue comes from the hotels. That's why we don't have a income tax here, because about 8 cents of every dollar that goes into the casinos, whether you're paying for a room, you're paying for a round of golf, you're paying for gambling, you're paying for shows, all those taxes go to the state to run the state, and therefore we have enough to run the state frugally. We can't waste money. But we don't have a state income tax, which is an economic development attraction for especially a lot of people in high tax states like California, New Jersey, New York. But 20% of our income comes from mining. We have the largest gold and silver and lithium deposits
Wow.
in the entire country. And mining is huge. It creates a lot of jobs here, and there's a mining tax. And so we have to diversify our economic base here. I want to bring in more manufacturing. I want to bring in more tech, and it's happening. People are coming here because we're business friendly. I'm trying to stop the jets that are flying from California to Arizona, because Arizona's getting a lion's share, and I want them to land the jets here and ask us what we can do for them. So I think that you're going to see the economy of Nevada continue to grow. Our population is going to continue to grow. Although we're running out of land, believe it or not, because a lot of people don't know this, but 85% of the land in Nevada is not owned by Nevada; it's owned by the federal government,
Oh, BIA?
the BLM, so
BLM.
Bureau of Land Management.
There
So
you go.
we got to beg them for acreage to build new homes, including affordable housing, because there's just nothing, no bare land out here to build anymore.
Wow.
So we have to get our federal delegation to release some land at the BLM so that we can build more, because a lot of people are coming here.
Yeah, I know a lot of businesses are leaving California, heading to Nevada.
They are.
Friends of ours are coming, and I got to introduce you later on to them.
I appreciate it.
But this is crazy. There's a huge difference. I mean, we know that right now we're getting ready to have an election.
Yes.
And there's a huge difference between the way California runs things and the way the rest of the United States run things. And I think some of the larger cities and some of the, Democrat run and controlled cities and states are run a little more like California. But I think we need to take a look and what are some of the things that we need to watch out for California that might spread across the nation, and how can we stop them?
Well, there's an old slogan when I was in the California legislature that where California goes, the country goes. So Kamala Harris is going to be the torchbearer for woke politics that is going to be shoved down the throats of every American should she get elected. And I'm praying that Donald J. Trump gets elected. So, you want to see trans men in women's sports. You want to see an open door to illegal immigrants coming in this country and taking people's jobs and indulging and inundating our healthcare systems to a point where people can't even be seen that are legitimately here. Taxes are going to have to go up because we have to pay to feed these people and clothe these people and put a roof over their heads. It's just appalling to me that we do this for people that aren't even legally allowed to be in this country, and we kick veterans to the curb and they're homeless and on drugs, and we don't give them the same benefits that they rightfully earned. These people, these veterans put their life on the line for this country and wrote the ultimate check, which could have been their life for our freedom. And yet we treat people that break the law coming into this country better than our veterans. And those are the kind of things that you're going to see. You're going to see a green energy phenomena like you've never seen before. You've heard of the Green New Deal. Kamala Harris was a signatory to that deal. It was a $93 trillion program that is going to make us totally uncompetitive on the world stage. All the jobs are going to get shipped over to China, get shipped over to South Korea, and people are going to be without work here in this country if she gets elected. And you won't know the difference between the southern border and Mexico and the United States because we're going to become one-third world country, unfortunately. So this is and then of course our security on the world stage in Israel. We've always been a close ally with Israel, and this administration is not a friend of Israel's. Even though they backed them ships up, but they've threatened if Israel doesn't be more careful in taking out civilians in Gaza, which Israel doesn't want to take out civilians in Gaza, that they're going to withhold munitions to Israel, which is ridiculous because Hamas purposely puts their stockpile of weaponry and people around schools and hospitals so that Israel could get blamed for killing all these civilians. So, one ugly thing that's come out of the United States as of October 7th, unfortunately, when we saw 1,200 innocent Jewish people going to a concert were massacred in an event that rivals the Holocaust, probably worse than the Holocaust. And then you saw Israel, which has every right to defend itself and say this shall never happen again. That's what they said after the Holocaust, shall never happen again. I lost 25% of my family in the Holocaust, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Immigrants from Poland that only my great-grandmother came here, and the rest of her family stayed. They all met their fate in the ovens of Auschwitz. Anyway, Israel has every right to defend themselves, and I just don't know under this administration if we really have Israel's back, because
I don't think so. I think you're right. I don't think so, and I'm angry about it.
And the anti-Semitism that we've seen on campuses, a lot of these campuses get endowments from a lot of very wealthy Jewish people, and all these wealthy Jewish people have pulled their endowments out of these schools.
They have to. They have to if they're going to make change. I was at a University of Southern California at an event. It was actually supposed to be on the campus, and they canceled it on campus and had to do it at a Jewish home because they didn't want the people standing up praising this survivor. He was a survivor of Auschwitz. He was actually a survivor of multiple camps. And what happened was he was a little boy, probably about 15. And he got off. They were told they were going on this thing and they were going to go to work and they were going to get jobs, and they were so, okay, we'll go. And they get there and they said, you go left and you go right.
Yep.
And so he was told to go left. And he looked around and he said, I'm with, actually, I think it was 12. He looked around and he said, I'm with young kids and old people. And something told him, go right. So it was dark at night. So he snuck over to the right side and he went to a work camps. And everyone who went to the left was burned to death.
Yes. Yeah.
And we don't have the Jewish people's back. Give me a flipping break. I am so livid about this. They wouldn't allow him to speak on campus. He was like almost 100 years old because the pro Hamas people said he shouldn't, and he was too dangerous. So we feel threatened. Meanwhile, the staff is being threatened. The students are being threatened. The anybody who comes in and talks positively about Jewish people or Jewish religion, they don't want it there, and they need the money pulled. All these campuses that are doing this, they should be standing with Israel. We swore this would never happen again. And here we are with an administration that's willing to give that up. But take a look. What do you think about North Carolina and what happened there? This is crazy.
It's appalling. It's appalling.
It tells you how, though, our government's going to work in time of catastrophe. We need to be able to defend ourselves, and we need to be able to look after each other.
Introducing a revolution in roofing. The elegance of Spain now in metal. At LCA Metal, we blend artistry with strength. Our metal sheets capture the classic charm of Spanish design while offering unmatched durability. Resistance to all weather, our sheets are as tough as they are beautiful. These sheets promise longevity and style. With LCA Metal, your roof becomes a statement. Proudly made in San Jacinto, California, our sheets are a testament to American craftsmanship and innovation. Each piece is crafted with precision and care, ensuring the highest quality. In San Jacinto, we not only embrace tradition, but also push the boundaries of technology to bring you the best in metal roofing. Choose LCA Metal for a roof that stands the test of time. Environmentally friendly, energy efficient, and stunningly beautiful, our metal sheets are more than just a choice. Call or visit us today at 951-654-2874.
The problem is, as you saw in South Carolina, is we spent all of our FEMA money on illegal immigrants. They had to get the money from someplace. And so they used federal relief funds for people that aren't even here in this country. And when our citizens need the money, it ain't there, which to me is an abomination. It's dysfunctional government, and this administration's got to be replaced. If they don't get replaced, I'm afraid that our democracy's at a fork in the road in 2024, and these young people better get smart, because they're not going to inherit a country they're going to like if we have her for 80 years. We will not survive as a republic.
I don't think they're going to win. I honestly think that the young people have woken up. Trump's son Barron is really the moving force behind the social media. And talking to the young kids and getting Donald Trump to communicate via that avenue. We're a little older, right? We don't communicate the way the young people do. And so his son was instrumental in doing this. And I think that it's a credit to his whole family. Each of them taking on a different challenge here, and all the while undergoing lawsuits, threats with jail, threats with taking everything from them. Yeah. Since when have we done that to an American citizen who wants to be president?
Well, this is what you witness in communistic countries when they imprison or they kill, like Putin does. He kills anybody that even threatens his his position in Russia, and then of course President Xi of China. I remember he had one of these meetings with all of his echelon, and like the second in command, I saw them escort him out, and I think they escorted him out to get rid of him because they saw him as a threat to the dictatorship that's going on in China. And so, I think the Democrats have really set a bad precedent in allowing our judicial agencies to be armed the way they've been armed. It's blatant that they are using lawfare, warfare, anything they can to destroy Trump, to destroy his wealth.
This is crazy. I think you're onto something here, and I think that I think it's bigger than just Trump and his family going after him personally, right? I think it's going after the American people. I think that Trump can financially afford it, as far as the battle, where the rest of us cannot. So he is actually literally fighting for us. And I think people need to wake up to the fact that if they don't vote in this election and they don't vote for Donald Trump, they're throwing away our country. They're throwing away the future, not just for our generation. And I'm talking not just me, but if you think about it, if the young people throw it away now, they'll never get it back.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
They're never going to get it back.
Lose a democracy to an aristocracy or a dictatorship, you're never going to get it back again.
No.
Of a thirst for power, and it's evident with dictatorships in Venezuela, North Korea, China, Russia, and they're getting more powerful, and we're getting weaker because we got bad leadership with our commander-in-chief who has dementia. And funny how she says she has supported this healthy man, for the past 3.5 years, but all of a sudden they decided they're going to use the 25th Amendment to say, step down or we're going to take you down. And if I was a Democrat, I'd be pretty ticked off that they covered this up as long as they did. And who's been really running the country? Has it been Barack Obama and Michelle Obama? Has it been Jill Biden? I don't know who's running the country, but you can tell the country's not being run well because national security issues are not being addressed. I mean, if this is what I'm thinking, after the October 7th horrific, heinous attacks on the Jewish people, assume for a second that Ronald Reagan was president. Here's what would have happened. Ronald Reagan would have told Iran, who is the culprit, the head of the snake, all the Hezbollah and Gaza, all the West Bank, all these different factions of
Hamas, all of them.
He would have said to Iran, you got 48 hours to release those hostages unharmed, or we are going to level Tehran. You will never recognize Tehran again. You got 48 hours. This thing would have been over with. Done.
But even if Trump was in office, it would never come to that.
I don't think so. Look how many lives have been lost in Ukraine. A lot of people don't realize that over 500,000 Russian soldiers have died. And for what purpose? What purpose? The Ukrainians are kind of quasi-Russians. They're killing their own brothers. Not to mention the devastation that has happened in Ukraine, and certainly has exposed the unpreparedness that Russia had in going to war with Ukraine. That war should have never happened. I think if Donald Trump was president, it would have never happened. I think the attack on Israel would have never happened. And I think that we wouldn't be getting these threats from Kim Jong-un, who likes to provocate a lot of mean, dangerous tropes with the United States. And you know what? Donald Trump ought to fly a couple of bombers over there and maybe drop a couple and just say, keep it up, pal, and we're gonna level your country, Pyongyang, as well. So it's peace through strength.
Right.
You got a strong military, you got a strong president, you're gonna have a strong country. You have a weak military because you have a weak president, then you are going to be a victim of horrible activities on the world stage, and that's what we have been witnessing, which has just been a shame.
It has, and it's more than a shame. It's our future if we do not do something now.
Correct. This is, you always hear people say, oh, this election is probably the most important in our lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
This one really is. We're at a fork in the road in this country where we have blatantly people that want to turn us into a socialistic country. They call themselves socialistic Democrats, like Bernie Sanders. A lot of people don't even understand what that means. I mean, listen, you have people that were protesting Israeli occupation in Gaza. They were saying from the river to the sea, and the reporter said to them, what does the river to the sea mean? And they said, well, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, these people are protesting about something that they don't even understand.
No.
And it's just, ignorance is just unbelievable.
But when they find out what it is, they don't want to stop. They don't want to go back and say, oh, I was wrong.
Right.
They're so stubborn, and it's so ingrained in them that this is ridiculous. And half the people, that are coming to these are getting paid to come to these things,
Yeah.
and to start these riots and to start this stuff. And unfortunately, we need to be prepared for November 5th because those riots are going to start.
You know what? I think November 6th is going to be a very dangerous day.
Yeah, November 6th through the swearing in, and
I think
until they're out,
Yeah.
it's going to be a dangerous time for not only President Trump and his family, and DJ Vance and his family, but for America. And I think we need to be well aware of who's starting it. I tell you something. I mean, think about it. Democrats are, let's take your guns away.
Mm-hmm.
The Republicans or conservatives are, let's keep our guns.
Mm-hmm.
So who's going to attack those who have guns? These people are coming in are evil people, but we have to be able to protect our own families. And
we'll do that because,
Mhm.
Crystal, there's probably 500 million firearms out there in the United
Mhm.
States. That train left the station in 1776 that said you have the right to bear arms. I don't care who comes in power. Americans are not going to willingly just sell or hand over their weapons to the federal government.
that's what
communist countries did. They went and took all their weapons away, and then they killed other people.
And that's exactly what's going on here. If they take our weapons away, we die. So that can't happen here.
That's
and
right.
we should be able, thank God for things like Elon Musk and X, where we can actually say these things. Because I guarantee you, if we run this on the other channels that we have, they'll cut it. They won't push it out. They won't allow people to hear it and see it. But a lot of it will be going out on X because this is crazy. And this is the truth. You're talking to a senator here of 2 different states who understands what's really going on at the base level. And that's what's key is we need to know what's going on at the base level so we can see how really evil this is. And this was truly evil, I think. And I think this is America's one more shot. What Kamala said when she said the other day when the guy hollered about being a Christian, and she gets in there and says, we don't want Christians here. You're at the wrong rally. Is that like, it's just nuts to me to say you're at the wrong. I think he said, Lord, Jesus is Lord, our Lord and Savior, our Lord and Savior. She's like, you're at the wrong rally.
Is
that nuts?
That's telling. Well, it just shows that the Democrat Party is the party of atheists. Unfortunately, they don't believe in what the Jewish or the Judeo-Christian doctrines are. I mean, look at abortion. Look at trans surgeries. Of minors. I mean, I can't believe that the Pope wouldn't even endorse in this race when you have Donald Trump, who's a pro-life president, and you got Kamala Harris, who's a pro-choice, a Democrat, all the way to the point of conception.
Yeah,
I think the choice is easy.
Yeah, it's easy. Do you believe in murder or not?
Exactly. So,
what's up with the Pope? What is up with him? Because
he's involved in politics that he doesn't understand.
Well, and that's it. He is involved in politics, and That is baloney. This isn't about politics. This is about human life.
That's right.
You have a choice. And when one state just recently said that they're willing to kill him after up to 9 months.
What a shame.
Are you kidding me?
You know what? I think with the Democrat Party, Crystal, that they don't value life like people should value life anymore. They're the ones that want to kill the baby in the wombs. They're the ones that want to perform euthanasia. If you're severely depressed in a country in Europe and you want to use euthanasia, you could get it done. I mean, you can kill yourself if you just don't think you can get out of a depression. And it's just the value of life is just diminished in their eyes. And there are many of us that are God-fearing people that think life is precious and life is worth preserving, and life is worth helping other people preserve their lives and give them quality of life. And you know, I hate to quote Rodney King, but can't we all just get along? I mean,
Yeah.
why do we have this imperialism going along around the globe with Xi and with Putin and North Korea and Venezuela? I mean, come on, can't we make war a old-fashioned thing? Why can't we promote more tourism between the countries and fellowship between the countries and different cultures and
Help each other.
let people live a nice, honest life and live in peace? We don't need to be killing each other for land anymore, over religious arguments that happened centuries ago. I mean, this is the year 2024, and we're still killing each other with weapons, much more sophisticated than what we did centuries ago. But you know, I don't know. I think life is precious, and it's a shame when you get somebody that has a thirst for power, like Maduro, like Kim Jong Un. That guy kills so many people. I mean, and he does that. He does that as a public display, just to intimidate and scare his people. And then in China, you know, the Fong Dong, you know, those are people that are in camps that allegedly are being harvested for their organs. China has the largest organ transplant system in the entire world, and people are asking, well, where are they getting all these organs from? Well, they're getting them from the Fong Dong that they have imprisoned there, and
Just taking them, killing them.
just no value of human life. It's just a shame.
I don't get it. I don't understand any of that. When I was little, my mom had 5 miscarriages, and one of them came out fully in the sack, and you could see his little toes and his head hair, all of that. He's actually in the Science and Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago. And I just don't know how you could look at something like that and say that is not a baby. You know, he looks like a baby, moves like a baby, grows like a baby, eats like a baby.
It's like a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it, and I can't justify it. But and you know what? If you do something like that, God's forgiving. God is forgiving. But we can't repeat those things. I'm on another podcast with Dr. Tom Slayton called Let's Talk God, Jesus, and Faith Today. And we talk every Friday about things like this and different things that you never think you could talk to a pastor about. And I just tell you, we get in some discussions that are truly heartbreaking, but there's always something positive. There's always something that can be brought out of these bad situations. You know, on the sad side, for October 7th, one of the survivors of the music festival just killed themselves because they couldn't deal with what happened to them and their friends, and then survival's guilt. It's a horrific thing that's going to affect Israel for many, many years to come, generations to come. And we should, as Americans, stand up for them and stand with them. And so I challenge anyone out there to do that. Stand up for Israel. Stand up for those people. They deserve our sympathy and our love and our caring, and whatever we can do to help, that's what they deserve.
This American will stand up. And President President Trump will stand up. I don't know if you know this. You probably don't remember, but when I was a state senator in 2015 in California, Obama had said he was going to sign a deal with Iran to allow them to further their nuclear program.
Yep.
And I said, why in the world would you allow a country that has some of the world's largest reserves of oil get into a nuclear energy program? I don't see them leading the effort on green energy.
Nope.
What's the purpose? Well, we know what the purpose is. The purpose was they wanted to get an atomic bomb.
Yep.
And you'll remember that Benjamin Netanyahu said many years ago that they're crossing over a red line. Barack Obama said when they bombed Syria, when Syria used chemical weapons against their own people, they crossed a red line. They did nothing.
Yep.
So I passed in California, and you might want to look at SJR6. Look it up when you have a chance. SJR6 in 2015 Stone. I did an anti-Iran deal resolution in a democratically controlled Senate that everybody said I had no chance of getting passed.
Holy cow.
And I am very proud that I did get it passed. And it sends a message that everything that I predicted came to fruition. And I'm telling you that Israel and probably the United States illicitly is working very closely. The attack on Iran is going to take out all of their nuclear facilities. It's probably going to take out all of their oil infrastructure. We are going to leave them impotent on the world stage for 3 or 4 decades. They will never be able to rebuild in any time sooner. And they've opened the door for this to happen. And Israel's been looking for this opportunity for a long time. And fasten your seatbelt. You're going to see the most powerful, sophisticated military. I'm not talking about the USA's. I'm talking about Israel's. They are going to go in and decimate the Iranian mullahs and all their infrastructure, nuclear and oil, and hopefully eliminate that threat for years to come. And then we're going to take care of Mr. Kim Jong-un, President Trump, and quiet him down real fast.
Yeah, I think that we're going to see a lot of change happen very quickly when Trump comes into office. I think the time in between, they're going to do whatever they can to stop it. They've already done some type of resolution or bill that they presented in Congress to try and prevent him from taking over. They passed it. So we'll have to see, what takes place. But we are Americans. We are not going to stand still and stand silent when this goes down. I think people expect us to just go, oh, we'll just ignore it. Oh, it's no big deal. But I think Americans are awake. I think the young people are awake. And I think that those who have invaded, and that's what they've done, invaded our country, they will be called into action. But again, who has the guns and who knows how to use them? Because we do know how to protect ourselves, and we will if we have to. And unfortunately, they may find out the hard way. This country isn't going to be taken over easily. We aren't going to let it. Trump won't allow it. You definitely won't allow it. We won't allow it. We have our plans. If something happens, we have to. We're in California is a Democrat-controlled state, and my guess is the borders will be shut down, and it'll be a third world over here. But we do have to watch, and we have to make plans as Americans. What do we do in case? Unfortunately, this is an opportunity for us now to step forward and do something.
I pray for Donald Trump's victory, and I pray for peace and well-being throughout the world. That I think it comes as a result of his leadership. And this is the time. This is the moment in time when we choose correctly. And I hope your listeners get it and get out and vote.
Yep.
Because if people just get out and vote that are on our side, we will win this election. It's a shame that in the last election here in 2022 in Nevada, 150,000 Republicans stayed home. If they would have gone, we would have won every legislative seat. We would have won every House seat. So this is not the time to be apathetic. If you really care about the United States of America, your vote does count, and you've got to go exercise it. And if you don't exercise it and she gets elected, you have nothing to complain about.
That's true. That's true. Jeff, I want to thank you for being on today. It has been such a honor, and I'm so glad to see you again. And when I come out to Vegas, I'm going to let you know ahead of time, and I'll try and come out during the good time. You said 120 days. I'll figure it out. Thank you for being on.
You're always welcome. It's always good to see you, Crystal, and good luck with you.
Thank you. And those out there, go ahead and hit like and share. And we appreciate all you're doing. Thank you, and have a good one.